Hey everyone! In today's video I'm going to show you how to crochet this adorable sensory toy pig. What makes it special is the interactive slide and stretch design. For this project I'm using yarn in 4 different colors with a weight of about 3.5 to 4 millimeters. I'll be using a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook to keep the stitches nice and tight. We're going to start with the pig's body. Grab your darker pink yarn and let's begin making a foundation chain of 15 chains. Once you have 15, add 1 extra chain. That's our turning chain. For row 1, work 1 single crochet into each of the 15 chains across. When you reach the end, chain 1 and turn your work. Now for rows 2 and 3, simply repeat the process. 15 single crochets across, followed by a turning chain. In row 4, we'll continue with our 15 single crochets, but pay close attention to the very last stitch. To get a perfectly seamless color transition to the lighter pink, don't finish the last stitch with the darker pink. Instead, drop the darker pink yarn and pull the lighter pink thread through the last 2 loops on your hook to finish the stitch. Now we're ready for the lighter pink. From rows 5 all the way to row 16, we'll stay with the lighter pink yarn. Just keep working 15 single crochets in each row, always adding that turning chain at the end for every row. Now let's give our pig his head shape by doing some decreases. In row 17 we're going to skip the very first stitch and work 13 single crochets. We'll also skip the last stitch of the row, which leaves us with a total of 13 stitches. Chain 1 and turn. Row 18 is a simple row of 13 single crochets. Again, chain 1 and turn. For row 19, we'll decrease again. Skip the first stitch, work 11 single crochets across and skip the last stitch. You should now have 11 stitches left. Chain 1 and turn. Finally, in row 20, work 11 single crochets across, fasten off, and you're done with the first body panel. Remember, you'll need 2 of these panels for the final assembly. Now let's move on to the most important part of this project, the ear and leg unit. We're going to crochet the ear, the leg and the foot all in one piece, which later builds the sliding mechanism. For the foot, we will close every round with a slip stitch and a chain before starting the next round. The leg, we will crochet in continuous rounds without closing every row. We'll start at the bottom with the foot. In dark pink, begin with a magic ring and work 6 single crochets into it. Finish with a slip stitch into the first single crochet and a chain. For round 2, we're going to double our stitches by working an increase in every stitch around, also in the one we just used for closing the round, giving us a total of 12. slip stitch and chain. In round 3, the pattern is 1 single crochet, then 1 increase. Repeat this all the way around for 18 stitches. Slip stitch and chain. Now for rounds 4 and 5, simply work 18 single crochets, 1 in each stitch around, always ending with a slip stitch and a chain. In round 6, we start closing the foot. Work 1 single crochet, then 1 decrease, meaning we're going to combine 2 stitches into 1. It's very simple. Insert your hook into the next stitch and pull up a loop. You now have 2 loops on your hook. Now insert your hook into the following stitch as well and pull up another loop. You should now have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops at once. Repeat the pattern of 1 single crochet and 1 decrease all the way around until you have 12 stitches left. Close the round with a slip stitch and a chain. Now it's time to stuff the foot with fiber fill. For round 7, decrease in every stitch until you're back down to 6 stitches. Close the round with a slip stitch, and for the chain we switch to the lighter pink. We're moving straight into the leg. We'll work in continuous rounds of 6 single crochets in lighter pink, meaning we will not close every round as before. Just keep crocheting single crochets after single crochets. Keep going until the leg reaches your desired length. I like to make mine about twice as long as the body. Once you're happy with the length, finish the last round with a slip stitch and fasten off. For the ear, we have to create 2 flaps, the inner and the outer ear. Now let's move on to the inner ear. We're going to work this part directly into the leg, but we're only using 3 out of the 6 stitches from the tube. Grab your dark pink yarn and attach it. For this section, remember that every round ends again with a slip stitch and a chain. In round 1, start with 1 single crochet, followed by an increase and then 1 more single crochet. You should now have 4 stitches. Round 2 is a simple round. Just work 1 single crochet into each stitch. In round 3, we're going to widen the shape. Work an increase, then 2 single crochets, and finish with another increase. This brings you a total of 6 stitches. Round 4 is another plain round of 6 single crochets. You start to see the typical ear shape forming now. Now we're going to taper the ear back down. From round 5, work 1 decrease, 2 single crochets, and another decrease to get back to 4 stitches. Round 6 is just one single crochet in each of those 4 stitches. To finish the tip, work 2 decreases in round 7 to leave you with 2 stitches. Finally, in round 8, work one last decrease. Fasten off, and your inner ear is complete. We do the same exact thing for the outer ear, but with the other 3 stitches that are left on the leg. Now it's time to bring everything together. We are going to connect both ear flaps to finish the ear. Take your outer ear and your inner ear and place them together. Using your light pink yarn, we're going to crochet a border of single crochets all the way around the edge, going through both layers at the same time. This not only joins the piece securely, but also gives the ear that nice clean light pink frame. Work your way carefully around the curves to keep the shape sharp. Do not forget to do 2 or even 3 single crochets in the top stitch to get a clean corner. Once you've made it all the way around, you have a beautifully assembled ear. Now let's create the arms. You'll need to make 2 of these, and we'll start with dark pink yarn for the hands. In round 1, start by making a magic ring and work 6 single crochets into it. Round 2, we're going to double our stitches, so work an increase in every stitch around. You should now have 12 stitches. Rounds 3 and 4, simply work 1 single crochet into each stitch. This creates the rounded shape for the hand. Now before moving on, take a moment to stuff the hand with fiber fill. You want it to be nice and plump. We're going to narrow the wrist by decreasing all the way around in round 5. You'll be back to 6 stitches. Just as you finish this round, make sure to switch to your lighter pink yarn. And rounds 6 through 8, with our new color, work 3 rounds with 1 single crochets in each stitch, closing the round with a slip stitch and a chain. This forms the rest of the arm. Once you're done, fasten off and leave a long tail. We need that later for the assembly. Next up is the snout. Grab your light pink yarn. We'll start with a foundation chain of 4. In round 1, starting in the second chain from your hook and work 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. Now to turn the corner, work 3 single crochets into that very last chain. This brings us around to the underside of the chain. Continue back along the other side with 1 single crochet and finish with 2 single crochets in the last space, the same one we started. Slip stitch to the first stitch to join and chain 1. You should now have 8 stitches in an oval shape. In round 2, we're going to expand the oval. Start with an increase in the first stitch. Then work 1 single crochet into the next 2. To handle the curve at the end, work 2 increases in this row, meaning next stitch, 2 single crochets, and the next stitch, 2 single crochets. Then work 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches and finish with 1 last increase. Slip stitch to join. This gives you a total of 12 stitches. Fasten off, but make sure to leave a long tail because we'll need to sew the snout onto the face later. Now the eyes. With white yarn we crochet 2 discs. Start with a magic ring and work 6 single crochets into it. Fasten off, leave a longer yarn tail to attach it to the face. With black yarn make a little pupil, whatever you think looks best for your pig. I went with a kind of a circle I created by going through the middle and the bottom of the disc a couple of times. Now for the finishing touch, the nostrils. Take a bit of black yarn and embroider 2 small vertical lines. You can make them as thin or as thick as you want. Attach the snout to the face and do the same with both eyes. And our pig has a cute little face. Before we join everything together, we need to give our pick some volume. To do this, we're going to create a little fabric inlay for both body panels. Grab some fabric scraps. Any soft material will do. A little tip: make sure the fabric is slightly smaller than the crocheted body. We need to leave the edge stitches free because we're crocheting through them later on to close the pick. If the fabric covers the holes at the edge, it will be very difficult to finish. Using a needle and thread, sew them together on 3 sides to create a small pocket. Next, take some fiber fill and stuff the pocket until it has a nice even volume. A little tip from my own experience: make sure to pack it firmly. If it's too loose, the leg won't be able to slide through properly later. I actually had to redo mine because it wasn't stuffed enough. Once you're happy with the firmness, sew the 4th side shut to seal everything inside. Repeat this exact process for the second body panel. Now both halves of our pick are padded and ready for the final assembly. It's finally time to put everything together. Grab your 2 body panels, the arms, and those long ear-leg units. First, place the 2 body panels together with the fabric sides facing each other and take the arms and sew them firmly between the layers at the side. Important tip: don't sew them too close to the very edge. We need enough room to crochet around them later. These arms stay fixed in place. Slip your leg and ear unit pieces in between the panels as well. These will stay loose so they can slide back and forth. To join the body, we're going to crochet around the entire thing using single crochets. To keep the corners nice and rounded, work 2 to 3 single crochets into each corner stitch. Here is how we create the sliding gaps. When you reach the positions of the ears and legs, crochet into the back panel only. This leaves the front panel open, creating a sturdy pocket for the limbs to move through. Also for the arms, only go through the back panels. For all other parts, crochet through both layers to seal the body. Once you've made it all the way around, fasten off and weave in those ends for a clean finish. And that's it. Our little piggy is done. Have a lot of fun crocheting your own, and thanks for watching.